Hi, everybody. Welcome to Stamping with Melva. I'm Melva Peters, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in British Columbia, Canada. And you can find me online at stampingwithmelva.com. I'm here today. It's a little later than normal. I had my team meeting this morning, so here a little later than normal. And I'm going to be playing with the Flowering Tulips suite, the bundle in particular. So I've got also some of the designer series paper and some of the ribbon, but I'm going to show you how to put together these tulips. They really aren't hard, and they make lovely cards when you do use the three-dimensional. So I'm going to use the Flowering Tulip suite to make a really pretty card in some really bright colors. I seem to be in a bright color kind of mood these days. I think it's the winter, and I'm wishing it was spring. Hello, welcome. Hi, Frida. Nice of you to join. And Nancy, great. All right, I'm going to switch over to my desktop, and we'll get started on putting a card together. So let's take some of this out, try to hold this up. This is the stamp set, and I apologize. I've got a light above, and I have a hard time getting the light to not be glaring. So this is the stamp set. It's two-step stamping, and these images are 90% of their size. So these images are a little bit smaller. Hey, Jacqueline. Hey, Catherine. Than they are the actual stamps. Some great sentiment. My favorite is this one. I'm a sucker for anything with script font and block font together. And then when it's in a circle, even better. So thank you, happy birthday, love you, thinking of you. Let today be the start of something new. That's really cool. And then happy Mother's Day. So really versatile stamp set. Also in the suite, my dies are a mess, so is the set of dies. So you have the dies to cut out the stamps, as well as this one. I haven't tried this one yet, but I think it cuts out little kind of squares. And then you have these dies that I will show you how to use that cut out the pieces that make kind of the three-dimensional tulips. And then this border die. And I did cut one of these out this morning, and I think I still have a piece of it left. Yes, here. Let me move these so you can actually see. So this is, I've cut it out in Poppy Parade, and it's just really kind of cute little border. It's actually about 6 inches long, and I've taken it and just cut out the size that I needed on this one. So this is really cute border die. All right. Those back. Now let's bring in my supplies. I have got a piece of Evening Evergreen, which I've cut 4 inches by 5 1/4. Sorry, 4 inches, 4 1/4 by 11 inches. I'm getting myself all mixed up here. So 4 1/4 by 11, and I'm just going to score this in half at 5 1/2. This is my card base. So Evening Evergreen, 4 1/4 by 11. And you're going to fold into the mountain. So this is the side, the opposite side to that I scored on. It's got the raised piece, so that's the size, a side you actually fold into. And I will grab my bone folder. All right, I've got some really bright colors for this card. So I have a piece of basic white that is 4 inches by 5 1/4, which will be my first layer. I've got, isn't this bright? I just decided that it just needed a pop of color. So this is a piece of Magenta Madness, and it is cut 2 and, let's see, what did I cut this? So 2 7/8 by 5 1/4. And then Mary Merlot, yes, Mary Merlot, not a color I use very often. Which is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4. And then this is one of the really pretty designer series paper, and it's got Fresh Freesia, it's got Highland Heather, Evening Evergreen, Rich Razzleberry that kind of goes along with the Mary Merlot. And on this side, this is the other side I'm going to be using that I'm going to cut my tulips out of. So this piece is okay, what did I say these were? This is 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. So this is, I might have said this wrong. Okay, let's get these right. So this is 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. This is 1 3/4 by 5 1/4. And this is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And these are all going to layer on top of one another. The colors are so pretty. This is, if you haven't seen this, the designer series paper in this suite, you really need to look at it because it's just so bright and cheery, and oh my gosh, the paper, it's got daffodils on it, just stunning. Well, not daffodils, tulips. I really am thinking spring. Tulips. All right. Okay, so we will layer these all. So even though this said it's rich razzleberry as one of the colors, this Mary Merlot goes with it very well. Okay, now, great. Yeah, I like them too, Nancy. I'm not sure where they. Okay, and I'm just going to put this one because what I'm going to do is I just want this kind of detail on the side, and then I'm going to put one or a couple of the tulips. So I'm not going to put this on yet, but that's what the start of the card looks like. Pretty easy so far. All right, so now let's bring in, there are 3 different dies to make 3 different, those are really hard to see. Let's put them on the back of, let's put them here. That's better. Okay, there are 3 different dies to make 3-dimensional tulips. So there are 2 dies that create kind of the full-size tulip, and then this top one creates the bud. So when you cut them out, and like I said, I've gone ahead and cut these out of designer series paper. It's the opposite side to what I'm using on my card. So one side you'll see is really pretty, you know, mottled colors, and then the other side are the tulips. So when you cut these out, it also scores, and so if you fold on the score lines, you end up with a piece that looks like the start of a tulip. Oops, let's do this one. This one it is. This is the bud, so it's more of a bud. I haven't quite figured out which is the right way. I'm going to say that way. So that is that one. That is that one. And then the other one just folds in half, and you end up with a piece that looks like that. So then the other pieces you can cut out, you have multiple of these inserts for the bud. So I've gone ahead and cut out one of those. So that's going to go on the inside. And then I've cut 2 of these dies. So this is the one for the bud. And then I've cut 2 of this one because this is the inside of this flower. And I'm going to just mix it up a little bit and use the pattern side for some of these. This one I'm going to use the dark side just because it looks so pretty. So you can use glue dots. You could use a little bit of liquid glue if you wanted to. I'm going to pop these up. So I'm using a dimensional, and I'm just going to take it and just kind of put this insert into the inside of the card, gosh, my brain is going too fast at the moment here. It's the inside of the flower. And then I'm just going to take a glue dot and close it over top so that you end up with a bud that looks like that. And then this insert we'll put inside of this one. Really easy. I was surprised about how easy these were to go together. So another glue dot, and we'll just close that over top. You could use dimensionals if you wanted to even add more dimension to it, but I'm just closing them with a glue dot. So again, this insert goes into the middle, and then almost to my end of my glue dots. All right, so then that just closes like that. So now I've got my 3 tulips, Now this might be a little squishy to get these 3 tulips fitting on here. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I've got my stem stamp, and I'm going to stamp this in Evening Evergreen. So I'm going to see how we can do this. I'm okay if it actually goes onto this side. I've got lots of room over there. There we go. And I've got the leaf. Now I'm going to stamp off a couple of times. It's just feeling awfully dark. And I'm just going to put one leaf, stamp off, and then one leaf like that. There we go. Just was a little dark for my liking. Okay, so now we can take, and I'm going to use more, just one dimensional on the back of each of these tulips. There's so many pretty flowers in the mini catalog. It's hard to choose which flowers you want. All right, let's put the bud in the middle. And then that can go there. And that can go like that. And now we just need to put this onto the card base. And then we'll put the sentiment on, and I have a little bit of ribbon. The ribbon is it's white and Evening Evergreen. Okay. And I've already gone ahead and stamped this thank you stamp, and I have cut it out using it's not the smallest, it's the 3rd smallest die from the layering circles. Actually, is that the one? Yes, that's the one. So it will coordinate with your layering circles, or you might have a punch. So I'm just going to take and use dimensionals because I like to pop things up. I'm gonna put this here. Gotta move that up a little bit, but that's okay. All right, now this is it's called Windowpane Check Ribbon. It's white and Evening Evergreen. So I'm just gonna tie a bow, she says confidently. Get it tied, there we go, tight. And then I can fuss with it. Okay, there we go. And we'll put that on with a glue dot. There they are. Lost my glue dots for a minute. I definitely could have moved these tulips up a little higher, but that's okay. Just about. There we go. And somewhere I have thank you, Nancy, another piece. This is a piece of basic white. And I should have probably cut a piece of designer series paper, and I will do that afterwards. I always like to use my scraps of designer series paper to add some detail to the bottom. So I'll cut a piece afterwards. I don't have it here, and put along the bottom. And that way it gives me lots of room to write a thank you note. Yeah, I kind of like that card. It's really pretty. It's very springy. Yes, actually, Nancy, that's a good idea. If I could find my embellishments, oh, here they are. I have these butterfly embellishments. These are the brush brass butterflies. They're part of the suite. So let's put a couple. They're 2 different sizes. You get 80 in a package. And so let's put a couple of butterflies here at the top. There we go. That balances it better. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Frida. Yeah, I think it's really pretty. All right. There we go. All right. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's always fun to craft. As I said, I'm a little later, so normally I'm on at 11 a.m. Pacific on Saturdays. I will be back tomorrow at 12 noon Pacific with another card for you. Don't know what I'm going to use yet. It's always a surprise, and I like just kind of coming up with the ideas almost at the spur of the moment, but a little bit of planning goes into it. So thanks so much for joining me, and hope you'll join me tomorrow. If not, I will be back live on Tuesday night at 6:30 with a sketch challenge for you. All right, everybody. Thanks very much. Happy stamping. Bye.